to Brandon's Face, the podcast about a playlist. My name is Jonathan Beardsley, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Brandon May. Brandon, how you doing tonight?
I'm fucking great, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Pretty juiced after a week of fucking Post Malone music in my ears. Excited to talk to you about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that, man. I feel like I haven't talked to you all week.
We have not, and I feel like we've both been really busy. I'm excited to have this discussion. It's been a kind of weird week musically, but we were kind of going over what we have coming up this month, and it's really picking up now. I don't know if you've looked at our release calendar for June, but it's fucking insane at this moment. I'm really excited for what's to come.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, it should be fun. You went to a concert recently, didn't you?
I did.
Who did you go see again?
Went and saw Failure.
How were they?
They sounded great. It was at Pappy and Harriet's up in
legendary venue.
Great venue. Unfortunately, it got a little too cramped for my style. I thought it was going to be an outdoor stage, but they ended up performing inside and kind of, I don't know if you've ever been there. Anybody who has been there will agree that just kind of cram everybody into that little spot. And we decided to stay outside and listen rather than be inside at the show.
Hey, man, I've been in that exact same position. I think it's really uncomfortable at times at concerts. I've been to a few myself. Amina and Tyler were both very energetic and vocal crowds with, I would say, 15 to 20% masks at the most. But, you know, I think everyone's having fun and we're all protecting ourselves in our own ways, and everyone's still getting to do their job, which I think is pretty cool. Did you pick up any merch?
I did. I bought a shirt and a CD.
CD classic. Were they selling vinyls at the show?
You know, I really wanted, because they took the album we reviewed last year, Wild Type Droid, they took it off of Spotify to protest people who don't pay them a whole lot.
We got a reason. Okay.
Right. Apparently it's like a protest. A lot of people are taking their music off of Spotify, I guess. But yeah, so I really wanted to grab the vinyl while I was there. But they didn't have it. Apparently it hasn't been pressed yet.
Ah, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Cool.
But they had some sick posters. We have no more room for posters on our wall, but my boy, shout out to Irving, got a poster signed. So I am excited to go see that next time I go over to his spot.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Text me a picture of that for sure. I want to see it.
I will. I actually thought I sent you a photo of the merch table, but I did not.
No. And yeah, anybody listening that's never heard of Pappy and Harriet's should look it up. It's a historical venue, legendary. You saw Turnstile Failure? You said Failure, right?
Failure, yeah. I saw
That's
Failure.
Right, sorry.
Yep.
I don't know why I keep thinking Turnstile for some reason.
Which is a good band, but no.
Great band, just not at all what you saw. But yeah, it's a very crazy venue. Like when Desert Trip was happening, Paul McCartney played his warm-up show there. Like
it sure did, man.
Anthony Bourdain on an episode of Parts Unknown was there with the singer of Queens of the Stone Age. It's a really cool venue. I unfortunately have never gotten to go.
Really, you've never been? Yeah, I've seen Dirt Wire. I saw Dirt Wire there, and now Failure. It's a really cool venue, man. Really wanted to go see Idols when they got there. Was just still the COVID stuff was just a little
too
weird.
Fresh.
Yeah, it was just a little too fresh. Honestly, I kind of wish I went to that one rather than Failure, because that was an outdoor show, which fucking go figure, right?
Yep.
But in fact, one of the bands we're going to be talking about today, Turnover, is playing there on, I believe it's the 17th, next Friday.
Interesting.
Yeah, that venue's definitely legendary, and the line, I'll never forget the news cycle for that Paul McCartney show where he announced it an hour before tickets were going to go on sale, or like 2 hours before, and there was like a line of people. There was just a line of people.
It was like insane.
Cars. People just went and just stood in line for the chance to see Paul McCartney in this tiny little venue. Talking to the guy, I guess if they sell more than 400 tickets, then they put the band outside, and I guess Failure was right there at that 400, and they said, we're just going to go ahead and do it inside.
Well, that's a bummer, but at least you guys still had a good time. I'm sure you got to socialize, which is very nice and kind of rare in these times. And that's always a good time to do it.
And honestly, they sounded great. They played their documentary beforehand. There was no opener, so it was just a
That's
failure
right.
show. And the opener, or I'm sorry, the documentary opens with Haley Williams saying basically that Paramore started when their soon-to-be guitarist gave her a burned copy of Failure's Fantastic Planet, and she was like, "Oh, I like this," and
Yeah.
kind of influenced, you know, that whole band, which I thought was really neat.
Well, thank you, Failure, for Paramore, one of the most
Right?
influential bands of my life. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. I was really excited when you texted me that. I would have never guessed, but that's really cool.
Yeah, I saw her face on screen, and I was like, "Yep, John needs to see this."
Yes. Yeah, I do. I'm mildly obsessed, to say the least. It's okay, though.
You've got some neat video of Haley Williams.
I do. I do. We'll get into that on another podcast, but
Okay,
I think we should start and get into this one before we get too far off.
let's go.
Let's go. Before we do, though, anybody that's never listened, please like, subscribe, comment if you haven't. You can find us pretty much everywhere on every major podcasting platform: Spotify, Apple Music, all that good shit, or Apple Podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can find us on our own website, on Instagram, on Reddit. So find us on the interwebs, surf with us. We'll say hi. And let's get into it, buddy. First up, we
Let's do
got
it.
this 2-pack from Jungle, Good Times and Problems. What are your thoughts on these?
As is tradition, this group just turns the funk to fucking 11, man. It made me actually go back and listen to Loving in Stereo. And turns out I like their music a lot. So,
Great album. I fucking love it. I think that was in my top 10 last year overall. Fantastic. Both of these are great. You're right. They always just bring that funky energy. They're incredibly reliable for that. This is a good little 2-pack of songs, man. I thought I preferred Problems a little more than Good Times, but really good.
yeah, I really enjoyed these. Jungle is quickly becoming, I think, very popular. I keep seeing their name, and people are posting photos of their vinyl all the time. And I think Jungle's getting up there, man.
As they should, man. They make some jams. I don't know if you've listened to their first 2 albums, but those are really good as well.
They're on my Listen to Next playlist, which I just recently cleaned up. I'm down to 83 hours instead of
Hey, I'm proud of you.
133 hours.
I'm proud of you, buddy. All right, moving on. We have a new one from Purple Disco Machine, fresh off his remix of About Damn Time from Lizzo. His new track is called Wake Up. I think it's him and Bosk featuring Coletta. What did you think of this?
This dude just makes fucking bangers. Pretty sure he just wakes up and goes, "What kind of banger am I going to make today?"
Yeah, man, he's on a run right now. I think this instrumental is great. I don't know how I feel about the vocals on this one. It's a little out there. It's kind of like Black Coffee's music sometimes, but I think altogether it works.
Yeah, I really like Purple Disco Machines and instrumentals. I just really like them, and I think he doesn't have to rely on vocalists, but I think he might like it. So to each their own, right?
I agree, and I think we both slept on In the Dark, kind of. I think that's been one of the best electronic songs all year if you go back and listen to it.
You might have slept on it.
You've been bumping that one ever since?
I actually go back to it every once in a while, probably about once or twice a month now, where I'm just like, I need something to pick me up. And it's like, oh, In the Dark. That's right.
Yeah, I've been getting more into him. I mean, honestly, you showed me him this year or last year with that Boys Noise remix. That was the first time I'd heard of him. And I hadn't really gone back. I didn't realize he'd released an album, I think last year or in 2020. And he ended up throwing In the Dark on like the deluxe edition of that. I threw that on my listen to next. So I'll get
Nice.
around to it eventually.
Yeah, that Boys Noise remix he did was fucking awesome. And it was really cool. It was really cool to kind of hear it before everybody else did. It was really cool to like kind of hear it before like we talked about it and like we were able to talk about it like
You have that
put it
on
our
vinyl.
playlist. I do, yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's a
I
great song to
ripped
have on
that for
wax.
you.
Yes, you did, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, man. Moving on, we have a new one from K5. Let me first say that this is the first week we've sorted this by genre, and I think it kind of does work better. This is like a nice flow. I'm staying in the same electronic state of mind going into these songs. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I actually think this is gonna work. So for our veteran listeners, all 6 of you. Maybe those 6.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you, and we're gonna be sorting our shit now, so that it's not EDM and then death metal and then pop and then R&B.
Yeah, so that you're not going from a K5 remix into Arc Spire, something like that. All right, buddy. This one, K5's Escape, the John Summit remix. I guess this made some waves during the EDM streams before it was released, but he dropped it and they dropped it during their set, so I'm sure you heard it actually during that. What did you think of this actual recording?
I really liked this. In fact, I watched John Summit's Coachella set, and I can't remember I don't think he dropped it during that set. He might have, but I just live streamed that one, and I was actually like under the impression that John Summit made, and I don't know why, like cheese EDM music, like they were like Dada Life or something. But like, no, man, he can get it in a certain niche,
Wait a minute, Dada Life is cheese EDM?
Yeah, man.
Oh, today I learned. Okay. I did not know this.
I mean, this isn't like a real genre. This is my opinion on cheesy EDM shit. So
whatever that synth is that they used on White Noise Red Meat is just the peak of electronic music. It's never going to get better than that.
I'm a big fan of cheese EDM music, bro. I went and saw Ellie. I got to Coachella early one year just to make sure I saw Ellie Riot and Rehab. I'm a big fan of cheese EDM music.
Okay, you're forgiven.
Get none of this twisted.
To get back on track, I thought this remix was really good. I actually listened to it against the original a few times, and I don't think it's better, but I think it's just as good, which is kind of crazy to say.
I did the same exact thing, and it definitely holds up.
You know what? I forgot that Deadmau5 and Cascade had a song in 2016 called Beneath with Me with Skylar Grey. I don't know if you remember this, but for some reason in my head, I thought that this was the first time they'd collaborated. Dude, yeah, you could go back right now on Spotify and look like, I think it's actually on my EDM playlist. I will look for you real quick and tell you when it came out. But yeah, they have a song. I don't know if it was a single or on an album, but they did have another collaboration that I was never aware of. Yeah,
I mean,
Beneath
obviously,
with Me.
Everybody knows I
Skylar
Remember
Grey.
and Moved with Me, but I thought that those were it.
Nope. The song only has 8 million plays. I do not know what happened with this, but it's kind of crazy. I feel like this is like a majorly slept on thing. Let's throw it on next week's playlist. I've only listened to it like once. All right. Okay, let's move on. We got a new one from Matt Lane. She's been on this playlist a lot this year, hasn't he? This one is called Rimshot. I'll go first on this one, man. This song is great. The drums are incredible, and this should be really, really good live. What did you think?
This man just speaks to my soul. I'm pretty sure I said that last week.
You did.
Just almost everything about this man's music just makes me this is it, man. I think he put out an album called Infirma, and his the album cover is just a wall of analog synths and drum machines, which is probably why the drums just fucking are awesome, because I think he does a lot of that. I think he does that really well. With how many singles we're getting, I'm fairly certain that this means an album. I don't know if you follow him on the socials, but I'm not on them. Have you seen anything about an album announcement or anything like that? Because we're beyond an EP, in my opinion.
I haven't. I follow so many that I can't scroll through them all, so I'll have to look at his page specifically, but I'll look into it and let you know.
Yeah, I was a big fan of this, and the drums kind of make it a little different than what he than what we're used to, I guess. I really like that he keeps us on our toes. He'll do like a sultry acoustic track, and then a fucking techno banger, and then whatever this is. I don't know where you put this, but
Yeah, and I don't receive all of it very well all the time, but he eventually wins me back with shit like this.
Put his first 2 albums on your listen to next, bro.
I will. Let me do that really quick. Okay. Got his page. Okay. Next up, we have Alex Lustig and Elohim with Breathe. What did you think of this?
So I listened to this a couple of times. It was one of the first ones we added to the playlist, and I typically kind of run through the first ones. I think it might have been like a Wednesday night ad instead of like a Thursday night ad. Um, yeah, I liked it, but I probably won't be coming back to it. I don't know what it is. I love Elohim's vocals, but this is a little too subdued.
You're wrong, man. It's a good song.
No, again, I did like it. It's just
Those piano keys are beautiful in this. They're beautiful. Her voice is great, and I think it works over the instrumental incredibly well. Revisit it.
maybe I'll revisit it.
Just listen to the piano. Put it on headphones. Listen to the piano. It's incredible. You know I'm a sucker for good piano.
I know you are, just like I'm a sucker for good saxophone.
I got a fever. All right. Let's move on. We got a new one from Drove called Into the Light. We've reviewed, I think, all of their music, actually, which is pretty unique.
Yeah.
Um, all of their tracks have been really solid so far, but I think this might be their best. Am I wrong?
I actually thought it was a little generic. I don't know. I listened to this like
Isn't
maybe
all
six
of their
times.
music?
Yeah, you are correct. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I remember really liking that first EP that we reviewed, and yeah, I don't. I'm not sure that this one holds up to that. Maybe I'll revisit those and revisit this.
Fun fact, there's not much really known about this. It is 2 or 3 guys. I think it's 3 guys. And this is Martin Garrix's record label. He signed them. That's how they have that's how they have featuring Dylan Francis on their first fucking EP with like being completely unknown. So I don't think they're industry plants. That's not what I'm insinuating. I think that they are not new to this, whoever they are. I think that it's very nuanced, and I think that they have a vision for this project, and they really haven't gone outside of the borders of that vision the way you and I like an artist to. Hopefully they do. Hopefully we get a full-length release, but I think I'm not going to judge them too harshly until they get to that point. Like, they're still getting on their feet, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting that it's Martin Garrix's record label. I did not even look into it that far. Let me ask you something. I've got two questions for you. One, have you ever seen Martin Garrix live? Or a DJ
Only on
set?
video.
Okay.
Only on video.
What do you think of his recorded music?
I don't like it very much. I thought Monsters. I thought Animals was an objectively good club song for the time that it came out. But everything he did kind of after that, I think the first song he followed that up with, I don't remember the name of it, but it had that Jay Hardaway guy, and it was a dud. It was too much like Animals. And then the last song of his I really remember liking was Set Me Free with Dylan Francis. And I think that I liked that a little more for Dylan Francis than Martin Garrix. So no, I wouldn't call myself a fan of his.
That's interesting, man. I think he has like a lot of pull in the industry, in this side of the music industry. And I like a handful of his songs. There's a song called Just Some Loops that is really good. In fact, I think that's my favorite track from Martin Garrix. But
Interesting.
I was trying to get a good spot for Zed at a festival, and Martin Garrix came out beforehand, and it was on the tour. I want to say maybe like at most 6 months after Animals had dropped, and yeah, I didn't like it. Yeah, it was fine, but like Zed blew it fucking way out of the water. But to think that they're kind of on even playing fields as far as monthly listeners
Hold on.
or something, you know.
Wasn't he like 18 though when Animals blew up?
Yes, he was a child.
Like, yeah, like I'm not gonna be the guy that's fucking bashing an 18-year-old's work.
I mean, I saw Porter Robinson twice when he was 17. And
yeah, Porter Robinson's a fucking wonderkin though. Like, that's a little different.
I don't even know what that means.
Yes, I do. Okay, buddy.
Right,
let's move on. We have a new one from Jax Jones and Martin Solveig with their project Europa featuring Gracie. The song's called Lonely Heart. Did you know that they had a group called Europa before this?
Sure didn't. Now I do.
Yeah, they have other releases. Did you know that?
I sure didn't.
Dude, yeah, they're fucking bangers, okay? Like, so this song feels like an instant classic to me, but I've only casually followed both of them until now. So I was unaware of this project, as you are, apparently. And I went back and listened to those, and they're incredible, dude. I want a full album of this.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of Martin Solveig.
I thought you were.
For
I
like
couldn't remember.
for like a long time. People if anybody were to ask me what, a handful of my favorite Coachella sets would be, Martin Garrix is in the top 10 easy. Like
Martin Solveig, you mean?
Martin Solveig.
You
So
just
sorry.
said Martin Garrix.
We were just talking about Garrix, two
No, no,
Martins.
no. We're gonna edit this
Two
part out and
Martins.
just make it sound like you said Martin Garrix.
No, Martin Solveig is definitely top 10 because he's just got this energy to him. And while I don't, it's funny. I was listening to this track, and the first time I didn't hear much Martin Solveig, but you can absolutely hear it in the percussion and like the drum side of things on this track. And yeah, man, I'm very excited to check out Europa.
Yeah, we'll throw those on next week. Maybe we have a lot next week, but I think fuck it. We'll throw them on next week. Yeah,
Fuck it,
this
we're doing it
project
live.
isn't. Fuck it, we'll do it live. It's funny, man. I got proven so wrong with Martin Solveig. I thought he was going to be a one-hit wonder with Hello. I literally
Nope.
thought that was going to be it. And that's like not even his like eighth most successful song
Right.
at this point. It's fucking crazy. So he proved me wrong. Props to him. Give us a full album of this. We never got a Club 75 album from Ed Banger. That would have been cool.
We never did we?
I was lucky to see that set at Coachella because they played right before Infected that year. I had no idea it was going to be like Justice and I think, who was it? Cassian. I can't remember all like 5 of them, but it's fucking cool to see, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. We got a new one from AC Slater. This one is called Dibby Dibby DJ, and I'm going to give it a Dibby Dibby down because I did not like this, man. Couldn't get into it. I'm just not a big fan of this style in general, I don't think. What did you think?
How Dibby dare him make us say this song name? I love this shit, man. This is I dig it. I've always liked AC Slater's music, and this is kind of right up that alley. He makes the same song in 1,000 different ways, and who am I to say no?
That's fine. That's fine, man. Whatever happened to Borgor? Where's that guy at?
The only time I ever saw Borgor, he had strippers on stage, which was weird, but like
Do
also
the
cool. But
dishes.
like,
Hey, man. What the hell's their name? Dragon Force. They had girls on trampolines, so I've seen equally as weird things.
there you go. There you go. Two totally different genres, and we've got people coming together, man.
We're not as different as you think. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to this like kind of hip hop pop realm of things. We got Audrey Nuna and Deb Never with a 2-pack of songs they're calling Chump Change. The songs themselves are called Sardines and Multigrain. Dude, forget K5, forget Europa. This is the supergroup of the decade for me. I don't know about you. I freaked out when I saw that this was an announcement for a release, and I'm a huge fan of both artists. This delivered on every level imaginable to me. I think they're both bangers. I hope this isn't all we get, but I'll be fine if it is. What did you think of these?
I absolutely loved these. These are great.
Yeah. Sardines is just, I throw that on every morning on my drive to work since it came out. That's a 5-hour energy in a song. Right
5-hour energy in a song. I love that.
Oh, okay, man. Let's move on to this one you threw on here from Turnover. Wait Too Long. Tell me about this.
Are you familiar with Turnover's music?
Have we covered any of it before?
I don't think we have.
Then no.
Got it. I went into this.
Wait. Sorry.
Maybe we have.
I will let. No, we haven't. I did not realize. I just clicked on their page. I did not realize this was like that Turnover.
Yep.
This sounds like a completely different band.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. This is
Please go. Okay.
This is way more synthy than I expected, but I actually really liked it. It kind of reminded me. I don't know if you remember the album we reviewed from Black Marble. But it reminded me of that Black Marble kind of synthy indie stuff, but with classic Turnover vocals, which I honestly think it probably translated better for you. And like I said, they're playing at Pappy's on the 13th or the 17th, one of those. Everybody should go.
Dude, most of the time was a fucking jam. Magnolia is a great record. I did not realize that. Like when I
Turnover's
heard
great,
this,
dude.
I was like, oh, this is just indie rock, like new indie rock band Brandon is showing me. I did not
Nope.
even like, I didn't click on their page, I guess. That's fucking crazy, man. Wow, they've changed, but I think you're right. They pull this sound off just as well.
I think they did this one really well. I've been a Turnover fan since I got into this like I wanted to find kind of grungy indie music, kind of like right in between the two genres, and I kind of went into this weird Reddit, Spotify rabbit hole, and Turnover came up, and it was just kind of they kind of sit on like four different fences. They're like emo or indie or garage or like shoegaze. You know, like they're kind of like in the middle of all of these. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they pull it off.
they do. They do, man. I think they pull it off well. This is a really good song, and whoever goes and sees them live, that'd be cool if they play some of the old stuff as well, because that shit used to slap, man.
Oh, I'm sure that they will.
Good, as they fucking should. Do you know anybody going to that show?
I do not.
Is Pappy and Harriet's the place where they used to do those goldfish races?
No.
Where was that?
That was at a place called Dylan's Roadhouse in Desert Hot
Okay.
Springs, which I'm kind of hoping is condemned at this point. Oh man.
From the stories I heard, it well should be.
You never went?
No, dude, that was always a weird invite to get, and it sounded interesting, but I never ended up going.
Honestly, man, that place was so much fun. It was like the perfect dive bar. There's a bar out here called the Red Barn, which is they proclaim
Oh
themselves
gosh.
as the king of dive bars. But like they get packed, and like to me a dive bar shouldn't get packed. A dive bar should be a dive. You know, like there should be torn leather seats somewhere.
Yep.
There should be somebody that checks zero IDs. You know, like
Yep.
Dylan's
Dude,
Roadhouse was that place.
Red Barn fucking sucks. I'm gonna say that right now. I do not like that place at all. The Hood is awesome. We have great memories at the Hood.
Yes.
Awesome pizza. And they will get you fucked up. Go in there with a very little amount of money and you will leave very drunk. It's a good place to go.
What did you order? A trash can?
Oh, you always get the trash can free on your birthday because it's like
Right.
the most alcohol and that's
Right.
the most expensive drink they have, which is like not that expensive, by the way.
Fun fact about the Hood: I saw the Dead Kennedys there.
You did.
I did.
Damn.
It's
Didn't you?
it's
Did
crazy
you
because
see
it was
me
like this.
there?
It's this tiny little venue, and like
I
the
didn't know
Dead
they
Kennedys
played there.
Yeah,
I know Mickey Avalon played there during Coachella one year.
I know a bunch of people who went to that show. I was not interested because I'm not a huge Mickey Avalon fan.
Did you go to either of my sets there?
No, I think I only facilitated or helped get everybody to the warehouse show where we kind
Oh
of
God.
broke into that warehouse. I'm pretty sure we broke into that warehouse and then we just partied.
Yeah. Yep. Good times.
It seemed
Or
really
not, I don't
organized,
know.
but I doubt that. I doubt it was as organized as they made it look to be.
I can tell you that I got a message on Facebook the day of for that gig, so it was not well organized. No. Okay, man, let's move on. We got a slew of pop songs I'm excited to talk to you about. First up, Maggie Rogers' new single, Want Want. You remember her last single we covered, right?
Yes.
What do you think of this? Just as good?
This is obviously incredible. Thank you so much for showing me Maggie Rogers because honestly, I might not have ever bothered. You know, like Maggie Rogers was the name that I had seen 1,000 times and I was like, whatever. But thank you so much for putting her on the playlist. And I was missing out, man. This is great.
Yeah, this is really good, like edgy pop production. Her voice is incredibly powerful. I know it sounds like stupid to say at the moment. I'm not sure if you're aware of all the Kate Bush stuff going on, but she literally kind of sounds like Kate Bush for a new generation, which is a weird thing to say.
That's
But
another name that I've never heard.
okay, so Kate Bush is a singer from the 80s, a pop star from the UK who has a song Running Up That Hill that I'm sure you've heard because Placebo's covered it. A lot of bands have covered it. It's a very popular song and it's prominently featured in the new season of Stranger Things, which made it go to #1, I think, on Billboard for the first time ever since its
Hey.
release.
Oh, that's
And
the song that they played, The Girl.
yes, that's
Got
Running
it.
Up That Hill
Yeah.
by
Oh,
Kate
for sure. I,
Bush.
I I know that song. Kate Bush is one of those names that I've heard a million thousand times, but
Yeah.
have never like dived in.
She's a very reclusive person that kind of rejects fame, which is why you probably haven't heard of her very much. That album is really, really good if you ever get a chance to listen to it. But I'm happy she's getting paid now. I only bring her up because I think that Maggie Rogers' voice genuinely does remind me of it with how powerful it is and like how grand it sounds. But like, it's not too much. She always just, it's just right for me.
Nice. Hounds of Love getting thrown on my listen to next.
Oh man, you're gonna love that
I'm
one.
sure I will.
All right, man. Let's move on to this new one from What So Not, Killer Mike and Oliver Tree called Mr. Regular. Before we talk about this song, do you like Oliver Tree?
I don't know who Oliver Tree is.
Okay, good. I have heard like a song or two of his. He's this guy who had this really like dumb gimmick haircut. He always has like a dumb gimmick haircut. That's kind of his thing. It's like it's
Don't talk
pop.
about Travis Scott like that, bro. Don't talk about Lil Uzi Vert like that, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, shots fired. I'm gonna give this song an overall thumbs down, but I thought Killer Mike was great on it.
That's exact. I mean, my notes aren't exactly that, but my notes are. This is interesting. I really like Killer Mike's verse. Don't think I'm going to return to this, which is my thumbs down. Wasn't Flume at one point in What's So Not?
You're talking about when Flume and Hudson Mohawk were together. I don't remember if that's what this group was, honestly.
Maybe, I don't know. I remember.
If so, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean, probably like a decade
he's been
ago.
solo for a long time, but he was with Hudson Mohawk for a while, I believe. That's who he started with.
Interesting. Yeah, I've liked a number of What's So Not songs, but I feel like this ain't it,
It
Chief.
it just makes me. Oh no, you go for it.
Well, if somebody could like isolate Killer Mike's verse over this beat, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just that part. One of those like YouTube looped for 10-hour videos
Right.
of just that Killer Mike verse. Yeah, this just makes me wish I was listening to Glass Animals instead.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, so that's what I did. Good album.
Interesting. I didn't put that connection together, but now that you say it, it just clicks. It's like, oh, that's who I'd rather be listening to.
Yep. Yeah, I think if you ever revisit it, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna just listen to some Glass Animals.
I might
Throw
just
on Deja Vu.
I might just not revisit it and throw on Glass Animals.
Yeah,
Instead.
do that. Do that. All right, man. Next up, we have one from an artist I've never heard of, Deaton Chris Anthony featuring Benny, called Goodbye My Old Life. This is fucking weird, but I kind of like it. I kind of love it. I don't know, man.
I really dig this, bro.
Yeah, Benny killed it. I have no problems with the other guy's part. It's just the instrumental. Like the second I see featuring Benny and I click play and the instrumental starts, I'm like, yep, that makes sense. Like only she messes with that Uh-Oh song she was on earlier this year with Suburban was the same thing. It's like, dude, I swear to God, she does not accept a feature until she hears the beat.
Honestly, super fair.
Yeah. I am actually going to see her in a few weeks. My wife and I bought tickets. Very
Hell
excited
yeah. What venue?
She actually bought the tickets for that, so I'm not sure. It's one of the theaters in Portland, though.
Cool.
One we've never been to. I might be Hawthorne. Not sure.
That's
I'll
awesome,
let you know.
man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing her. That should be a really fun show, honestly.
I think it's really funny that we kind of started this podcast through the pandemic, and like shows are just now kind of becoming like a thing again. I've been like looking at tours, and Porcupine Tree is playing the Greek Theater in Los Angeles in September, and there's things that I'm like tempted. Like Silverstein is playing like an hour and a half away. Like, you know.
Oof. Yep. Man, I get the temptation. I bought tickets to Amine and Gallant, so my wife picked the next two, which are Benny and Placebo.
Oh, those are great picks. So
yeah, so I'm kind of cool in it just for financial purposes, but if Gallant announces a tour, I'm buying tickets immediately. I'm not missing Gallant.
super fair. My boy's gonna go see Pussifer on Monday, actually.
I've heard they're very good live.
I have also heard that they're very good live.
What's your favorite Pussifer song?
Simultaneous.
Oh, that's a good one, man. Conditions of My Parole was a great album. I fucking love that. But I think my favorite Pussifer song was that one with Mila Jovovich. That's like always the one I hear in my head when I think
That's the
Pussifer.
one on. I think the is V is for vagina or something like that.
It was
is
on
the
an
album.
EP, I think. It was on like one of the
Got
EPs
it.
before that first album came out. But that one is really fucking good. I love it.
I don't know, man. Money Shot is I think an underrated album in their discography, man.
No, you're right. Those two are really, really good. I actually don't like Vias for Vagina very much. I think Conditions and Money Shot was like their peak. Those two albums are my favorite too.
Money Shot is great, man. So Simultaneous is my favorite song of theirs, but it has that intro. It's like I think 3 or 4 minute intro or something weird like that. And digitally, the intro is fucking awesome. I bought the vinyl version of Money Shot, and the intro is completely different, but really just as awesome.
Interesting. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
C is for insert sophomoric genitalia reference here is what the song is called. The Mission. M is for Mila remix, and that is the EP that also has the Humbling River on it, which is probably my other favorite song of theirs.
Got it. Yeah, I've heard they're great live. He's seen them at least once before, so he's really excited. They're going to go to the Greek Theater, which I fell in love with the Greek Theater in Los Angeles when I went and saw the Chemical Brothers. I've never walked into a bathroom with more urinals.
That's a note.
Bro, honestly, that shit kind of matters, right? Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, I've left places talking about the bathroom before. The first time I went to ESPN Zone and they had the TVs in front of the urinals so you don't miss a second of the game, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Did you go to the one in downtown Disney?
Yeah, I went with my brother when I was in high school and he was in college. I flew down. He went to Riverside, so I went to stay with him, and he took me to downtown Disney, and we watched the NCAA Final Four matchup, like championship game. And there's like a rule that you have to be like eating, to stay there. So we did like a 3-course meal spread out over like 2 hours. And then so eventually you got to go to the bathroom, and I go in there and I'm like peed. And some guy like walks in, had never been there before either. It goes in the like one of the stalls, and they have like TVs on the ceiling facing down.
Yep.
And he's like, "Somebody tell my wife I'm not coming out."
I just imagine so many people going in there being like, "Yo, let me get 8 chicken wings 3 times within an hour and a half, please."
Oh my god, I think that place closed, sadly. It was not very good food, and the arcade was overpriced. They had some pretty cool games. So
yeah, we went to the arcade once. We were big fans of Downtown Disney when we had our passes, and they actually moved. The House of Blues isn't there anymore. I'm pretty sure Rainforest Cafe is closing down. That whole area is being weird.
Yeah, they're remodeling a lot of it right now. I think they're putting an expansion to the hotel in, which I think is kind of long overdue. But Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen is my favorite downtown Disney restaurant.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
Oh god, it's incredible. Ralph Brennan is one of like the founding people from New Orleans. So
dude, we went and saw the coolest fucking jazz. I think it was a burlesque. I don't know, something like that. It was just awesome. We had a great time there. It was a good time.
I miss going to Disneyland with you guys. That was always so much fucking fun.
Yeah, man. Maybe when you guys come back down, we'll go to Disneyland or not.
Oh boy. Yeah, or not. Okay, man, let's move on. We got a new one from St. Vincent, her cover of Funky Town for this new Minions movie.
Something that is definitely not Disney property.
No, I did not enjoy this cover.
You really hate covers, man.
This is not a good one, though. You like this?
It's super weird, but like I don't take covers, I guess, as personally as you do, so I didn't mind it.
But even as a cover, though, this is a paycheck for her. This is her phoning it the fuck in my opinion. There's no creativity here.
How creative can one get with a cover?
We're gonna have that discussion another time. I'm gonna come in with receipts before, okay, buddy? All right, let's move on. We have this new one from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and Perfume Genius. You threw this one on here a few days ago called "Spitting Off the Edge of the World," And I'm really glad you did because I saw it was added,
I
but I've
couldn't.
never
Yeah, I couldn't wait to talk about it. So
yeah, I've never really like followed them. I know their music. I know Karen O obviously, but like I just wasn't familiar enough with them to throw it on. So I'm glad you did. What were your thoughts?
this felt more like a Perfume Genius song than it did a Yeah 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 song. I did enjoy it though. It's been fuck man, 9 years since we got an album from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. And as soon as I saw that they released new music, I was like, "Oh, okay." I did enjoy it, but it felt more Perfume Genius oriented than it did Yeah Yeah Yeahs oriented. So take
Interesting.
take that for what you will. What did you think about it?
I really enjoyed it, and it's funny you say that it's been such a long time since their last album because I played this like literally an hour ago, kind of doing a refresher through the playlist before we recorded, and my wife was like, "Oh, like is that the, like?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's new Yeah Yeah Yeahs," and she's like, "It's not new Karen O," and I was like, "No, it's new
Nope.
Yeah Yeah Yeahs." Like, it's very weird, but I think it's a good song. I don't know a lot of Perfume Genius, so I didn't know it was much more stylistically in that vein, but I think it works.
Perfume Genius is an interesting artist. They
How so?
put he put out an album, "Set My Heart on Fire Immediately," which I really liked. I think he put it out in 2020. I think it was probably like right before we started our little podcast thing, and there's a couple of songs on there that are just fucking beautiful. Um, I highly recommend you throw that album on your listen to next. Set My Heart on Fire Immediately, and you'll kind of get probably what I'm saying about how this feels more like a Perfume Genius song than it does a Yeah 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 song. But this is speculation, obviously. But I really hope we get a new Yeah Yeah Yeahs album. I mean, again, it's been 9 years. I think we're all ready. We went through, you know, a lot of turmoil over the past 9 years. Karen O, if you're listening, please just like make it happen.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Karen O was one of our six listeners?
I mean, we are cool enough, so
We are. We're very cool. Thank you. All right. I needed that.
I think you're really cool, John.
Thank you, man. I'm like Ben crying in the Batman suit. All right.
That's me always.
Yeah, seriously. Can you fix the internet? Um, we got a new one you threw on here from Goth Babe, Taking Over the Sun. I know you're a big Goth Babe fan.
I will
I'm
always
assuming you
throw
really
Goth
like
Babe
this.
on here.
Yes, I know. Really good track. I don't really have any notes on it though. I liked it.
Yeah, I had no notes other than love it. Period. That was my whole notes.
Mine were like it, so a notch under yours, but
There we go.
very much in the same vein. All right, let's go on to another band I know you're a big fan of, Peyote Ugly, Mutiny. Did you like this more than the last one of theirs you threw on?
Oh man.
Or about equal?
About equal, I think. I really did like this one though. God, this is such a good band name, man. Like,
It is. We
such
talked
good,
about it last time.
the
How big of a
music,
fan I am of the movie. So.
the music kind of fits the band name, I think, like super well. And it kind of got me thinking, what bands have you heard that have like such a sick band name and like didn't deliver?
Um, you know what? I can't remember what they sound like. So I can't say for sure that they didn't deliver. I'll have to revisit, but the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza is the first one that comes to mind. I remember seeing a flyer at like the show venue I used to go to and being like, oh yeah, I'm going to check them out. And I know I hit play at some point and I never went back. So I don't know if it just didn't hit me right, but that's going to be my answer.
I'm crying. That's amazing. Oh man.
Have you ever heard them?
No, but like their band name sounds awesome. But like I believe you that they're not good.
I think that they're one of those bands that has like a big following and they're really big in like the live poster art like community. Like who's the other band? The Avett Brothers. Like, I don't know who's listening to these people and why they need posters for it, but they get these like top class poster artists to do the sickest show posters for them. It's bizarre. Like, I don't get it, but it's pretty cool.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, did you like the song?
I did. I thought this was a really good song.
Yeah, I'm just such a huge fan of these guys. I hope they grow up out of Seattle, and I hope they know that
The fuck does that mean?
I mean, they've only got like 200 monthly
Oh,
listeners. Like they're a small
blow
little
up.
local.
I thought you said. I thought I was like, what the fuck's wrong with Seattle, man?
No, Seattle's dope. Like Seattle's cool, but like I hope they like get bigger than just the local scene in Seattle. I hope that they
I
grow.
do as well. I do as well, man. You got to tour. You got to tour. That's how you play the game. Who knows how long the world's gonna be okay to tour for? You might as well do it now.
Hated that.
That's my
sentence. Advice. All right, let's move on.
All right, buddy. You hated that sentence. I hate this song. We got a new one from Panic at the Disco, Viva Las Vengeance. I've seen a lot of people saying some positive things about this online, but I think the music sucks. I think the lyrics suck. I think Brendan's voice is good, but this is very much the kid in drama class just trying to show off for everybody. Like, I don't like this. What about you?
I think you just described Panic at the Disco's entire discography, except for A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Here's the thing. I only really listened to Fever from Panic, but I have skimmed his other stuff. I had a customer back when I was doing home services, and I would talk to him about music. I would see him like every week, and I asked him one time what was the best show you ever seen, and he was an older dude, really cool guy, knew a lot of cool, indie kind of music, and he was like, Panic at the Disco, and I was like, no shit. I was like, when did you see him? He was like, I think we saw him like 2 years ago, and this was like maybe 3 years ago, so call it 5 years ago from now. And I was like, what? Like, that's crazy. And he was like, no, dude, this man sat on a seat with a piano that floated around the entire room. And, like, showed me a video of it. And, like, Brendan really, really did it.
Yes.
All of the
I think
music,
he does it during Bohemian Rhapsody, right?
Yeah, it was that.
I've seen video of it. It's a big
so,
deal.
Here's the deal. I've skimmed all of his music outside of Fever, but none of it has really hit me the same way Fever has, And
Sure.
This is the same thing. It is good music, in my opinion. It's not bad music. It's just not up my alley. And maybe hearing his voice brings me back to a fever you can't sweat out, rather than whatever this is.
There's been moments where his voice has brought me back, but I'm going to disagree with you. I think this is bad music. Like, objectively, okay. I think this is really bad music. I don't think this is good. But I don't know, man. Like, I think I can say that because I think some of his other hits, as much as I hate them, I see how they're hits. I see the catchiness of, the High Hopes and the fucking Saturday Night and all that. Like, I hear the catchiness. This just sounds like, yeah, I don't like, didn't do it for me. You've never heard Pretty Odd? Like, you weren't like, this is the follow-up to A Fever when it came out, and you were like, you didn't listen to it?
No, and I think we definitely should get more into where my mind was around 2008, when Pretty Odd came out, but I never actively listened front to back Pretty Odd.
You've only heard 9 in the Afternoon, probably.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I don't know, man. Fever was just such a fucking, the entire album is a fucking banger, man. Like, Time to Dance, bro. Lying is the most fun a girl will ever have. Yep.
I have a lot of fun facts about that record that I will get into on another podcast with you, but I agree. That's one of the best albums ever made. It sucks they couldn't follow it up. Sucks that they almost did follow it up, but I don't know, man. I think once Ryan Ross left the band, all that was left of the old Panic is gone, and this is a separate thing at this point. This is your argument for Bring Me the Horizon needing to change their name is literally my argument for Panic at the Disco not being Panic at the Disco to me anymore. This is Brendan Urie, the solo project, in my
It's
opinion.
the same sentence that I say, which is this isn't terrible music. Just change your name.
Sure. Okay. Agree. Agree. We'll leave it there. I couldn't have said it better myself. Can we please move on to a song that fucking rules?
Let's go.
We got a new one from Neck Deep. Shut the fuck up. We have not talked about Neck Deep ever, have we?
We have not.
Are you a fan?
I am not.
Like, not a fan or have not heard?
All right. So I'm just gonna jump in.
And you could be honest. Yeah,
I mean,
please.
you gave me the soapbox. I'm gonna stand up on it.
Please.
I was never able to get into this band. I think that everything they do is super derivative of Blink and Newfound Glory combined, that it is just almost insulting. I don't know, man. Like, I the first time I hear all of their music, I'm like, oh, this is great. And then the second time I hear the same song, I'm like, oh, this isn't that good.
Okay.
I can't really put my finger on it, but Neck Deep is not one of the pop punk bands that has stood the test, in my opinion. And apparently you really like it, so take it away.
No, it's not that I would not call myself a huge fan of Neck Deep. I started listening to them in 2015 when Life's Not Out to Get You came out, and I love that album. I'll stand by it. I think the opener, Citizens of the Earth, is great. Threat Level Midnight is great. And that has December on it, which was arguably one of their biggest songs. And then I really got into them when they released the remix of December with Mark Hoppus. I think that's when I found them and started like revisiting their older stuff and getting into that. Their two albums since have been fine. I would give them like a 6 or 7. They're not great pop punk, but I don't think they're bad by any means. I do see how you're saying they're derivative, but have you ever heard the saxophone version of In Bloom or the Mark Hoppus version of December?
No.
Okay.
Here's the deal. Every time somebody has mentioned Neck Deep to me, I've gone to their Spotify, listened to their top 5, and been like, meh. So, like, maybe I do need to go deeper. With some bands, I did need to go deeper into their album cuts. And if you recommend an album to me right here in this moment, I will throw it on my listen to next immediately.
Life's Not Out to Get You is my favorite Neck Deep record. That's the one. And literally the first song on it is my favorite song on it, Citizens of Earth. So
Got you.
you'll get straight to the point if you listen to that. And if you don't like that, then I couldn't fight you on you liking the rest of it, honestly. I think they're good, but I think in my Mom Jeans review, I said that they're reminiscent of that era of pop punk without being derivative. And I think that Neck Deep is reminiscent of that era of pop punk with being a little derivative, but I fucking like it. So I don't
Fair.
really care.
No, that's super fair. A lot of people in the pop punk, like the modern pop punk scene, like really like them. And it was kind of, they were kind of one of those bands, kind of like State Champs, where I was almost apprehensive to like, how can you be as good as the greats? But like State Champs, I don't know, man. That album fucking speaks to me. And I've got all of their previous music on my listen to next, but Neck Deep never really did it. So yeah, and they're one of the ones that I gave a chance to. I don't think I ever really gave State Champs a real chance. So we'll see.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair, man. I wouldn't fight your opinion on it. I don't think you're far off. I'm excited that we finally got to talk about them. They're like every time we get to talk about a new band and I realize we haven't talked about them before. I'm excited to have a story so far conversation with you one day. That should be fun.
I'm sure we will, sir.
All right, man. Let's move on to this one you threw on here from Muse, Will of the People. Please go first, because I'm still confused and figuring my thoughts out on this.
All right. Muse is a very interesting band. I love Muse. I saw Muse live. It was fucking like a dramatic theater musical, and it was just awesome. When I saw them live, they had this like catwalk down towards the middle of the crowd, and at the end of this catwalk, they had this like a gas pump, and they had this girl come out and douse herself in gasoline and light herself on fire and then disappear, and then they started playing Uprising. And from that day forward, I've always just been like a huge Muse fan, just because of I don't know, man. I really like the dramatics, and I really like the way that they are political without being partisan. I guess I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
They're definitely corny, and they're definitely mega political. But again, they're not really taking a side here. They have very firm beliefs, and I don't know, melodies, riffs, chorus, energy. It's all there. To me, that makes a good rock song. What did you think?
I thought that the song itself was okay. I think that Muse in a nutshell is what? Experimental garage rock with operatic vocals generally. Like it's a very epic sound that they create. This didn't necessarily do anything new. My problem with this is that the Will of the People line is a fucking ripoff of The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I can't unhear it. It drives me fucking crazy. I don't know if it was intentional or not
I think it was.
I don't like that. No, that bugs me. The rest of the song's good.
Also derivative. I'll give you that.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't like it, but I agree. They're fucking epic live and a very, very good band.
Neat.
He's a great singer too.
Yeah, no, he has his voice that is unique, and I'm glad he's singing in this band.
Well, we will be reviewing their new album. When does that drop? August 26th, and this is the title track from it. So I'm sure we'll get another single or two before then.
We've actually had like a number of singles, and I don't know how we have we covered Muse in the past couple of months?
No, we have not. So we might have missed a few.
Well, it's weird because like I went back and like listened to the singles that they put out, and I'm not going to throw them on because I think we've got a couple of busy weeks.
Yeah, and we'll get to the album when it drops as well.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of where we need to leave Muse right now. Is we heard this song and we've got a little bite of what the album's going to be, and when the album drops, we'll throw it on.
And surprise, it sounds like Muse. All right, let's move on.
It's no surprise, sir.
We got a new one from your new favorite band, the Viagra Boys.
Yeah, we do.
Can I call? They should be the Viagra Boys. Punk rock loser is the name of this one. They're on just a great run of song titles. I think that I don't know if I like this. I'm going to from this point on, I'm going to stop trying to figure this band out and just enjoy it for what it is.
This band fucking rocks, dude. You are.
I know you love it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Stop.
I like elements of it.
Stop trying to wrap your head around it, bro. Just take the pill for what it is, man.
Bite the mushroom cap.
It's exactly, man. It's just it is what it is, man. There's no. It's. I don't know how else to describe it. This band is silly as fuck.
They are, and I like that about them, but the music sometimes is hard for me to take seriously because they are so not serious at times. But I think they're talented, and I'm looking forward to checking out the album when that drops, which I think I threw on our release calendar. Yeah, July 8th actually drops the same day as Metric, so that'll be an interesting release.
That's going to be a fun week, my man.
What a 1-2 punch. All right, we got... To round out our singles for the week, we got a new one from Kasabian, I think is how it's pronounced.
I say Kasabian,
Kasabian,
but like
Kasabian,
I'm white,
Kasabian.
so like I can't really pronounce anything correctly.
I'm white too.
We're all white.
We're all white. All right, so we got this new song from them called Chemicals. This one felt a bit tame compared to their last two, but I think it's still good. What did you think?
I actually really liked this one. This one got me on some like. It made me like want to listen to The New Abnormal by The Strokes. It got me on like some synthy Strokes vibes. I don't know if you caught that, but that's how I felt from it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be an interesting album, which is kind of what I said when they dropped their first single. And I was like, this is going to be a weird album because they make weird music. Because it is.
You weren't really feeling the first two, though, right?
The first two I was not super stoked on. I think the last one I was a little bit more stoked on, but this one I really liked. So we'll see.
Oh, I am looking forward to it. I think we threw that one on our release calendar as well. Maybe. Yeah, August 5th with the Interrupters. That'll be a fun one. if you people can't tell, I'm telling you to go check out our release calendar. You can see what's coming up. It's pretty fucking cool.
brandonsface.com/release calendar.
Yes, plug it. All right, all right. Let's move on to the albums. Are you ready?
I'm ready, bro.
All right, we're swagging and saucing first. We got Post Malone's new album, 12 Carat Toothache. Man, please go first.
Oh, are you sure? I really thought that you were going to have very strong opinions here. So
I do. You want my strong opinions first?
You know what? I'm going to take it.
Yeah, please.
Post Malone tried so hard to be really deep and really like meaningful on this one. It's honestly kind of endearing to hear him do stuff like this. There's a couple of acoustic songs thrown in. I don't know, man. There's something about like the dichotomy and the duality of man with beautiful ballads while having the chorus on the song being, quote, "I was born to fuck hoes." It's just something else, man. Look, I know The Weeknd kind of did this, but honestly, it really worked well for The Weeknd, and I don't think it really works well for Posty. It's a bit weird, man. Posty has kind of really tried. He really tried on this album, and that's kind of what makes it being bad like a hard thing to say. Here's the deal. It's actually quite entertaining. It's just not my neck of the music woods. I usually don't actively seek out music like this. I don't know. Cooped Up is a fucking great track. It's an easy radio banger. But like then you jump from Cooped Up to Lemon Tree, and it's like, did a kindergartner write this? All of the lyrics on this entire album are just rudimentary at best. Wrapped Around Your Finger is definitely catchy and entertaining. Basically, all of the songs are catchy and entertaining. But the lyrics are right on that borderline of garbage and at best mid. The production is obviously great, as most artists from his caliber are going to know that the production is what's going to get you on the radio. But it was only 14 songs, but it kind of like felt longer than that, and that's kind of a bad thing with like a really popular album like this. I gave it a 4. My standout is Cooped Up. That's kind of where I stand on this Post Malone album.
The only reason I didn't want to go first is because I just didn't want to shit all over it in case you liked it. But I think this album fucking sucks, dude.
For the record, John, please feel free to shit all over things that I really enjoy.
We're homies. I'm gonna go Freddie Gibbs on a Corday track and just shit all over everything. Yeah, this album sucks, man. The only 3 songs I can even make it all the way through before losing interest are Cooped Up, I Like You, and One Right Now. And I think One Right Now is just so mainstream, it's annoying. It's just The Weeknd sounds okay on it, I think. Like you said, there's some slick production. Some of the sequencing is pretty good, but that's pretty much where my compliments for this album end. You need to like his voice to like this album, and I don't. I think he's an average pop singer, and I think he's a mediocre rapper. And I know that this album's too big to fail. Like, he's going to get another #1, which is great for him. But this is a weak-ass release, and I gave it a 3 out of 10. Cooped Up or I Like You would be my favorites. Those are the 2 catchiest, in my opinion, which I'm sure we'll hear both on the radio for a while.
Yeah, I don't really listen to the radio. I mainly just listen to our playlist.
As you should. All right, man, let's move on. We got a new release from 070 Shake, You Can't Kill Me. Did you hear her debut album in 2020 when it came out?
No.
Okay, so she's signed to Good Music. She's on Kanye's label.
Oh, interesting.
She's kind of like she used to rap a little more. This is clearly going in more of a pop direction. And honestly, you can almost copy and paste my fucking review for Post Malone's album here, minus all the too big to fail stuff. Like, I think she's intriguing, and I think she's made a few songs I've enjoyed, but I'm not a fan of her voice or the production on this album. I think there's moments that intrigue me, but the best part of the album to me is the only part where she's not singing and somebody else is. I love Christine and the Queens. I think Christine has a great voice, and she killed Body on this, but I really wanted to like this album. I enjoyed her first one for the most part, but I cannot connect with this. I gave it a 2 out of 10, and Body was my only standout. What are your feelings on this?
Oh, wow. All right.
I know. I know.
So
Disappointed too.
I listened to this album a number of times. You very rarely give albums a 2. You didn't even give Posty a 2.
I enjoyed 3 songs on Post Malone's album. I enjoyed 1 song on this. Honestly, I thought that there was some okay like electronic production elements, but again, like there's so much singing on this album that I do not enjoy.
We're gonna get into that. All right. So I listened to this album a few times, at least 3, maybe even 4. I had heard the name 070 Shake like 1,000 times, probably on like features and like people hyping it up and blah 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 blah. It's pretty inventive on the production side of things. It does have very interesting textures. It has interesting tones. I kind of love the experimental moments that they seem to fit in kind of in this album. And the percussion throughout the album is really good. This is not up my alley. With all of that being said, on my first listen through, I thought that it really wasn't anything special. But once I actively listened to it, I did hear a lot of stuff that I really did that I really do appreciate in music. But I also heard a lot of stuff that I don't appreciate in music, which is one of the things where you can like hear that she has range and she's not using it on purpose. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal to me. Like I honestly feel like her vocals, like she has range, but she like won't use it. I don't know how
and
to
it makes it
that.
Monotonous. Yeah, like you're right.
And then there are parts where like I'm really enjoying like the song, and then there's like really weird Willow like influences that kind of like are like, what are you doing, man? It's weird. Here's the deal. I gave it a 3 because I'm not a big fan of this, and I probably won't come back to it. But my standout was History. History was great because of the production. There's strings, there's piano, there's even like a little bit of sax at the end for like a second or two.
Yeah.
And you know I'm a sucker for that stuff. So I really did like History only because of the instrumentals.
Yeah, I agree. That was a really good instrumental. Like there was a few. I thought Medicine was okay, Skin and Bones was okay. Like there's some really good production elements on this album. And I thought the back half was better than the first half. Maybe I was a little harsh on it. Maybe it is a 3. I don't know. Like you said, the points don't fucking matter.
None of these points matter.
I didn't enjoy it, and I won't revisit it. And I think that's pretty much my review of it at the end of the day.
Yeah, this person 070 Shake 070 Shake, whatever you want to
I think
call
that's the New Jersey area code. That's like she's the most successful of them. I don't know if she goes by she, they. She's kind of androgynous. They're kind of androgynous. Yeah, there's a whole crew. There's more than one 070 person. They're just the most successful. I see. So there's other 070 artists that you'll see on some of their songs. But they put out an EP in 2018 called Glitter, and the opening track on that is called I Laugh When I'm With Friends But Sad When I'm Alone. And it's a very down-tempo hip-hop song, and it's very like kind of autobiographical and honest, and that's the song that's kept me interested. And then on her debut album that came out in 2020, Modus Vivendi, she had a song called Morrow that sounded very like Yeezus-like in the production. Kanye didn't produce it, but it was very like reminiscent of that. And it had a few other good songs that were a little more palatable than this. I mean, I feel like she's going for more of a niche audience in this, but I also feel like it's a sophomore slump.
Yeah, it was not my thing.
For sure. Well, let's move on. Let's hope whatever she drops next hits us better. We got a new one from Arin Ray called Hello Poison. Is this one of the few R&B albums you actually enjoyed?
There are a ton of things that I really like about this album.
Tell me them.
Got it. The sultry guitars, the brass sections, the strings where he has them. I really like Ray's vocals. I think he does a really good job of building with the production, which is something that a lot of R&B for me lacks. There's a ton of funk and there's a lot of old school blues influences on the instrumentals here, which you know that I appreciate. There's even like some extended instrumental sections, which I think you already know I also appreciate.
Yes.
I didn't listen to his debut album, but this to me seems like a very solid sophomore effort for whatever was the first album. I forget what song with us it was, but there's like one real gripe for me. There's a song where he's like on the phone and like there's somebody talking back on the phone, but like it's Animal Crossing sounds. I don't know if you caught that, but it's awful.
I don't remember that, but I probably skipped that one from time to time, I'm sure.
I gave it a 7. My standout is either Set It Off or The Mood. I couldn't really decide. I like both of those songs.
Fuck yeah, man. That's a fair review. I think that I was not anticipating that, honestly. I thought you were not going to like this at all. So I'm
No, I actually
surprised.
really liked it.
All right, man. Well, I'll get into mine here. I think that this is a really good R&B album. I also gave it a 7, so I'll say that off the top. This one grows on me a little more with every listen. I think my first listen, I thought it was like a 5. Second was a 6. As of the last listen, it's to a 7 with me. And so God only knows where it'll go next. But I wasn't blown away by the singles when they dropped, but hearing the album in full just kind of made it all click for me. And I don't think it's perfect. I don't even know if I like it more than his debut album quite yet, but I do know that there's a lot to like about this album, man. His voice sounds fucking incredible. And we get several songs on here that could be considered among his best, I think. I love how he structured this album and how he kind of like put a bulk of the features in the back half to really let himself shine in the first half of the album. I think that's really important. And I don't really have a whole lot to say about this album beyond that. So I'm just going to touch on a few of my favorite tracks really quick. Serious. Great album opener. Probably the closest we're ever going to get to finding out what Michael Jackson singing about The Dark Knight would have sounded like.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's like first thing that popped in my head. This is nice. Would have been my favorite if he didn't spend like the entire last minute of the song just singing the words fucking you over and over and over and over. But I think in terms of vocals and production, that one is incredible. Gold, still my favorite of the two singles. Hideout, just perfect R&B to drive around to at night. That's a really, really good one. And of the collabs, I think Miss Frustration featuring Van Jess is just incredible. That might be my favorite song on the whole album. It's just like a very mood-based R&B song, and I really like that. I don't really have a concise way to wrap up these thoughts other than I really enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing where he goes from here.
Yeah, man, I actually enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. So
I did as well. So shouts out to you, Aaron Ray. You made a person who does not really like R&B a fan. Props.
it's not that I don't not like R&B.
It's not typically what you like. I'm saying it's an achievement for you to say you liked an R&B album.
I think so,
It's
man.
a compliment.
And it's funny because I went through his today. Actually, our people also listen to on Spotify, and Tone Stith was on there, and I was like, hey, that's another high-rated R&B artist I enjoy.
You know what? If you were in an R&B discussion with like the community and you dropped Tone Stith's name, they'd be like, "This dude knows his shit." Holy God, that's not. His
Well, that's
first
all
album.
thanks to you.
Yes, you're welcome. His first album's great. He had a song with Dram on there called Communication that is the first one I heard of his. And he actually had an EP in 2019, I think, called Phases 2 that was really good. That has a song with Kalani called Change and a song called A Seat that was just a fucking jam. He's a really good artist, and I think he delivered this. Props to him.
Nice.
All right, man. You ready to cap off this week with Bo Burnham, the Inside Outtakes?
I am ready.
So I begged you to watch this. I know you were really busy, and you jammed it into your schedule. I'm thankful. Did you and your wife just crack up laughing as much as you did during the original?
Not quite as much as we did during the original, but it was definitely hilarious.
It had it has its moments. Him, like beyond the songs we're about to talk about, just the footage of him filming the white woman's Instagram where he's in the overalls with the paint was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, there was a couple of really good moments, man. When he was like going down to film the part where he's, in the blanket on the floor, like
Yeah. Oh man.
the spiders.
I don't know how you want to talk about this if you just want to kind of have an open form discussion about it. But like
Open discussion, please.
Yeah,
I didn't give it a rating. Well,
okay. Yeah, no, it's not that kind of album. I think just first of all, Bo is the best. Like few people make me laugh as hard or as often as he does. And I honestly don't know how he made the decision to cut some of these songs from the special because I think they're all really, really good. And I think some of them like feel good, have like a surprising meditative quality to them, but most of the album's just classic Bo, honestly. So let's just do this by topic. What's your favorite song if you had to pick one, or favorite songs?
My favorite song, funnily enough, is Biden.
Oh no, I'm not gonna hate on that at all. That might have been the hardest I laughed. Like that drop the first time you listened to or watched
so good,
this.
Man.
Did you listen to this before watching it?
No, I waited to listen to the whole thing before I wanted to watch it all happen in front of me, kind of like I did with the album prior.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, when that one dropped, I was dying. I think I can't pick a favorite between The Future. I think that's like arguably just a really good song.
Really good like music song.
Yeah, not even like a joke. It's just a good song. And the 5 Years, which him doing a parody of Controlla by Drake was I was not prepared for that. The voicemail part at the beginning was absolutely hilarious. You might need to download another app.
Doesn't matter, do it immediately.
Just Google it. And don't call me. That's what I'm just gonna do.
Because I'm just gonna Google it.
He doesn't really go directly into parody like that too often. And I don't know if it's because he did, but that's the first time I've really been reminded of Weird Al in one of his songs. And I think that's a compliment. I think that
huge compliment. Weird
Al was a one of a kind. I think Bo is the first person that's come along that can possibly do what he's ever done, but do it from an original stance. It's funny to hear him do a parody, and I think it worked really well. I love him riffing on R&B because that shit's always great.
Right. Well, I just need everybody who is listening to know that if you microwave popcorn, go ahead and put it in the microwave and set it for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You shouldn't press the popcorn button. If after 2 minutes you find yourself, 1 to 2 seconds between pops, go ahead and open that microwave up. Some people apparently don't know this, but microwave popcorn is not that difficult to make.
That is great advice and brings me to my next question. Favorite lines, because one of mine is, oh no, there was a button that said I should have hit that one. That ad lib is so fucking good. Other candidates for me, they're really gonna make me vote for Joe Biden.
That's the one, man. That's the one because it's just so funny, man.
And another one that just kills me. Everyone's a feminist until there's a spider around.
We're an enemy of the patriarchy until there was a spider.
All right, pick a favorite. If not one of those, then another.
It's definitely, they're really going to make me vote for Joe Biden. It's that one. Or just Jeffrey Bezos spread out between 8 bars.
You know what? You just brought me to my third and final question. Of all 4, what is your favorite Bezos?
I think it's Bezos 2. I think it's Bezos 2.
So I think musically, Bezos 2 is my favorite. But Bezos 1, the fuck their wives, drink their blood.
Oh, incredible. Incredible,
into
man.
The guitar solo, into the hard cut scream.
Fuck the wives, drink their blood.
Honestly, that line kills me, but the way it just cuts off.
God, man.
The scream is just as important, dude. The cutoff scream at the end it makes it. Oh man. This was a fun one. You want to know what we have to look forward to next week?
I definitely do, sir.
Okay, so we got new singles from Odessa, Lane 8, Danger Mouse, and Black Thought featuring Joey Badass and Russ. A Jid remix of Jid. Jid's on a remix of a guy named Mike Dimes. I peeped that song and it's really fucking good. I'm excited for you to hear it. A track from Marion Hill that I think might be the rollout of a deluxe edition or a B-side from their album. And then the first single off Jack White's new album, Entering Heaven Alive, is called If I Die Tomorrow. And then EPs and albums, we got Between Friends. We haven't talked about them. They're releasing an EP called Cutie. Big Gigantic's album, Brighter Future 2, Chasing Status's new album, What Came Before, Joyce Manor's 40 Ounces to Fresno. God, I can't wait for that. Motionless in White, Scoring the End of the World, and a new one from Pharrell, Tyler the Creator, and 21 Savage called Cash In, Cash Out. That should be interesting to hear. What of all of that are you most excited for?
I am excited for a lot of things this coming week. In fact, I need to add something else to our release calendar.
Please, what is it?
There's a band called Baptized in Sin that will be releasing an EP this Friday, and I'm very excited for that. But honestly, out of the ones that you mentioned, probably Joyce Manor's 40 Ounces to Fresno.
I agree.
Mainly because of obviously like the album name, which is just perfect. It's just so exciting. I saw that you added Motionless in White, which is an interesting band that you had added. If you guys go to brandonsface.com/release-calendar, you can check out all of our releases, or you can just go to brandonsface.com and click the link for the release calendar. You can check out all of the releases that we are excited about. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to keep talking to you every week about music, man.
Me too, man. We have a lot to look forward to. It should be a lot of fun. Please stay tuned for some big announcements coming your guys' way shortly and a lot more fun content this summer. I think that's all. Anything else we have to touch on?
I think that's it. Just tune in next week, everybody.
I'm Ron Burgundy. All right.
Peace.
Peace.